I'm going to do this a little quickly. Please don't be afraid. Be a little afraid, but only a little afraid. All right. This is strictly a little demo quickly about what frequency separation is. Okay, so frequency separation is the mode of taking away detail information and separating it from the color and tone. Okay, that's all it is. So it is a action and or function. You have to do it. You're going to blur a layer. I've got the formula. Please don't panic. I have the formula for you. So I'm going to Gaussian blur this. I'm going to blur the heck out of it just for this demo. I'm 37, who cares? And then this is where people are going to get confused. On the detail layer, you go under Image, Apply Image. You pick your blurred layer. You put it on Subtract. And you put 2,128. Okay. So you hear me go, ooh, 2,128? I have an action for this. I never have to type this in. So I get a little stuttery. This is what gets a little confusing for people. The formula is the formula. It is gospel. It is all over the internet. Everybody knows it who does beauty retouching. They just don't use this for fabric. So I've got it written down for you. Don't panic. I'll be giving it to you. But this is the formula. It always stays the same unless you're working on 16-bit or 32-bit color. What will change is the amount of blur. Okay, but this will never, never change. All right. Now, as I said, I have an action for that. Let me see if I have it loaded because it would be so much faster. I don't. No big deal. Command-J, blur. Image, apply image. Go to your blur layer. And if you labeled it, you'd know it's your blur layer. All right. Why you do this is it makes retouching so easy. Now if you look at this, I have two gray layers. That makes no sense. If you're on your detail or gray layer, or high frequency as people like to call it, you need to put this on linear light. Go back to your leather, gray layer on linear light. And what I like to do for continuities, I like to put it in a folder called frequency separation, just so I know what I'm looking at. When you've done the method of frequency separation, you have done nothing to your file but prepare it for retouching. So I've done nothing but prepare myself to go into this mode called frequency separation. Now what I want to show you is if I took the blue color, the blue blur, and I drag it into the leather, I now have blue leather. If I take the gray detail and drag it onto the blue blur, it's a very hard word for me to say, I now have the same thing, just done opposite. Detail. It allows you to change your texture and your color. Do you see that? Seamlessly, quickly, in 2 seconds. This is why this is great for fabric. Okay? I know this is a hard thing to grasp, but it will change, it will revolutionize how you do your retouching if you can adopt this. So let's put this to practical use. I'm going to do this on an Adobe stock image. Can we go back to the keynote for just a second, please? Thank you. All right, so here's the assignment. You have a fabric that's messy, and you want to clean it up for a catalog, and you have to do 200 of them. What you're going to do is run that exact frequency separation that I showed you, the exact frequency separation that I showed you. And then what you're going to do, it's all written down here. You're going to have it, it's basic. Okay, I'm not going to run through this again. What you start doing then, there's your gray layer, there's your blur, is you then start retouching and you start painting. I'm going to do this demo for you. So what I'm going to do is I've got my blur layer and my gray layer. I'm ready to retouch. I'm now going to come over here and I'm going to add a paint layer and I'm going to start painting out the wrinkles. You'll see it here. And then the next move I'm going to do is I'm going to start retouching out the lines on the gray layer. And the key caveat you have to know is when you're retouching on the gray layer and you're cloning out lines, you've got to make your your stamp tool on current layer only. So let's walk through this, you guys. All right. I'm going to throw all my extra bits away. I have a bunch of actions for you for this, and you'll be able to use it. So what I have, and let me just put it into a different layer. They're set to make this a little easier for you to look at. Okay, so we have a frequency separation. I'm going to put the original outside of it just so you can see. Come on, my love. There you go. All right. Frequency separation, on and off, nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. Why? Because I've only prepared myself to do work. I have the blur layer. There's the shirt blurred. There's the gray layer with the detail. Make a new layer called paint. Spelled right or wrong, I don't care, just call it something. Select the shirt color and start painting. I'm painting a little ham-fisted because I'm rushing. You could be a little careful. But there's the tone. There's the tone heading out. Oh, but I still have those lines, right? Go to your gray layer, take your stamp tool, current layer only, select, start retouching out your lines. So in pretty short order, you can clean this up as much as you want. You can fill it with a pattern. I have to tell you, you got catalog work, you got busy work, you have wedding dresses to clean up, you have families. If you have a mom in a family group shot and she's got rolls on her tummy and she wants them out, you go to that paint layer, you select a color nearby, and you start painting out the wrinkles. Do you understand? Wrinkles gone, wrinkles gone. And sometimes what you guys can get away with, is you don't take all the wrinkled lines out, you just take the tone out. How big is the file? Is the file up here, up in their nose, and they're going to see it? Is it far away? If it's far away, you don't have to hardly do any of that, you just do it on the tone. Well, that's 2 seconds. Can you imagine for a second trying to clone those out? No. Frequency separation for fabric. This is going to hurt your head, but I think you should see it. This is why you want to use frequency separation. Imagine they do a photo shoot, and that's what they shot. And you have to change that to solid blue. You should be crying right now, 100% crying. Frequency separation. There's the blur layer. You repaint her. You repaint it. You have to watch out for shadow lines, but you repaint it. The gray layer, you clone out the lines. Frequency separation for fabric. That's a 2-hour job. But it's not a 2-day job. If you had to clone that, that's a 2-day job. If you're using frequency separation, it's a 2-hour job. And Bob's your uncle. So, keynote real quick, please, my beauties. Pants, you can do it on jeans. There you go, sample of that. It's not easy, but you're going to love it. Get good, get fast. I have a bunch of other classes on Creative Live. And you can find me at lisacurry.com. Oh, click here for a free PDF on booklet on frequency separation for fabric.